Hey ladies, I feel like my blog resonated with a lot of you but due to all the comments I got when I posted excerpts from it to Instagram. And my blog this week is called Finding a Better Me. And I never know what I'm going to write about. I just started writing, and for some reason when we first moved up to Oregon kept on resonating in my head, and I think it's because I'm trying to include a lot more about Portland in my Instagram, so I've been taking pictures around Oregon, and I just started thinking about when we got here and how I felt about it. And so when I started writing, that just kept on coming to my head to write about when I wrote this last weekend. And I didn't know, as I never know really where the blog's going to end up, but it ended up including some thoughts on my mom. And I know a lot of you have all, left a comment saying you've had similar issues or asking me more details about my relationship with my mom. And, I loved her very much. And of course, she's in my heart always, every day. I think about her. We had an okay relationship when I was younger because I was a pretty quiet kid and I always wanted to, be the good kid and do what I was told. So there wasn't a whole lot of drama when I was, a little girl. As far as our relationship, there was a lot of chaos and other things going on, but it wasn't like we were fighting and things like that when I was little, because I was just, I was really kind of a quiet kid and did what I was told. But when I got older and got out on my own and started realizing, hey, some of the things that happened to me and within our family just weren't appropriate. I started questioning, my mom, maybe even my dad, although I wasn't that close to my dad, but I just started asking questions of everybody, my sisters, what they thought of our childhood. And when I was about 24, 25, I'd moved out, I'd been living on my own, and I remember I asked my mom, why was my dad so angry, and can you give me some insight on why he doesn't really have a relationship with any of us? Even though they weren't divorced, he was still there, but he would just not really reveal a lot about himself. And I started asking her deeper questions, and she got very angry with me and very angry at the situation. And that started kind of a weird, something rift in our family, because I just wouldn't leave it alone. And she kind of wanted me to stop asking questions. And I think this is the point, where in most families, my daughter's 22, she will start asking questions of me, and I will gladly provide her with any answers that I can provide her to help her out. But I think when you come from abuse, or you come from trauma, or you come from a family where there were secrets, and as you get older, you're just asking questions and you can't get any answers, I think that's where it gets really hard, and where, people always say, to people like me that, came from families like that, oh, just forget about it, just let it go. It was a long time ago. Your parents did the best they could. And I have let a lot of my negative emotions go. But if we had, been given answers and an explanation as to certain things in our childhood that are still questions, that as children we just kind of had to come up with our own explanations, because we weren't allowed to ask those questions, and when we did, we were greeted with hostility. So I think I'm just speaking for myself, but I don't know if anyone else can relate to this, because it seemed like a lot of people commented on my post about my mom and my family. But I think that's where it's hard to let go of. It was hard when my mom passed away, because I had to let go forever of ever getting any answers. And so that was hard, because whatever, happened in our family kind of died with her. And our family was kind of split on who talked to her and who didn't, and who kind of stayed close to the family, who went off on their own. So now our family, is still kind of split up. And now I've just decided, I've tried to ask questions. I've tried to form relationships mainly with my sisters, just to try and all move on together and help each other out. But that didn't work out very well, as we all had our timetable for healing and getting over our past trauma. But I think it's interesting how I feel like I'm over all that and I don't want to think about my past family, but so often when I write, and so often just during the day, those things are in my mind. So if I was to deny they're in my mind, I'm kind of lying, I guess. And from what you guys have commented, it seems like it's in your guys' mind too. Not that I obsess about it or, you know, have issues about it. It's more just kind of like as I'm thinking about my life, those things come up. And I think people that came from, you know, a family where they had a closer relationship, they got answers along the way to their little questions. They got, oh, okay, what was that about? And my daughter's asked me things, you know, about our past, and I'll explain it, and I'll tell her what I was going through, and so she can kind of resolve that and kind of put it to rest. Oh, okay, that's what was going on. And I never got that. I never got any resolution. It was all just, you know, now taken to my parents' grave, and you know, that is what I'm left with, and that's very unsettling. There's a part of me that will always kind of be unsettled about that, but you know, I have moved on with my life. I've had my own family. I have my daughter now who's graduating college, so it's not about not moving on. It's just a part of you will always be there, just like if you had a good relationship with your family, that part of you will always be there in love. For me, that part of me will always be there in love, but also confusion and hurt, because I never knew why a lot of things happened. So I hope that answered some of your questions about me and my mom's relationship, and I hope maybe you can maybe relate a little bit to that. I'm not sure where all you guys are, but I just thought I'd put it out there and talk to you guys since I was getting so many comments, and just wanted to kind of give you my background on that. And I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful Monday evening, and I'll talk to you really soon.